fair use. I'm not making any money off of this video. This is strictly for educational purposes only. Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, to the elders, the great millstone. Peace, love, honors, and salutation to the hopeful elect that are out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity. Back again with another lesson. You know, of course, brothers are already aware of what's been going on in the world, you know, with the rumors of war with Iran and Israel. So I'm gonna play a little video and I'm gonna get some scriptures.
Of our support for Reza Shah Pahlavi, the people of Iran view the United States as an enemy. In a moment of passion, students captured the U.S. Embassy, held American hostages for hundreds of days, and it led to a failed rescue mission that had 8 American bodies left on the sands of the Iranian desert. We've never forgiven Iran for our failure there. It happened because of our intervention in Lebanon, where Iranian-backed militias blew up a Marine barracks, killing 241, 242, 203. I can't remember the exact number. American Marines, soldiers, sailors. We've never forgiven for that. We got here because we illegally invaded and occupied Iraq, and Iran supported the Shia of Iraq to resist this, and hundreds of Americans were killed because they were fighting Iranian-backed militias. We've never forgiven Iran for that. We got here because we've allowed our prejudice against Iran to be exploited by the Israelis to the point where we have denied Iran the right to have nuclear enrichment capability that was permitted under Article 4 of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which Iran is a signatory to and has adhered to inspections, but Israel is not. We've gotten to this point where we've embraced Israel's regime change policy focus on Iran so that we don't know how to live peacefully in coexistence with Iran, and we've been seeking to remove the Iranian regime through sanctions and by using intelligence-driven uprisings inside Iran.
And this is because Iran is one of the biggest threats to Israel over there in that region. So Israel wants to eliminate all competition, and they're using their muscle, America, to aid in that. But see, Iran has their own muscle, which is Russia. So let me read this real quick. This is Psalms. I actually wanted to read it in the NLT. Psalm 64 verse 8. It says, "Their own tongue will ruin them, and all who seize them will shake their heads in scorn." And that's how all the other nations are looking at America. Even as the scriptures say in Obadiah, the men that were a confederate with thee have brought thee even to the border. Even certain NATO nations, certain nations that were at peace with America, doing business with America, was in league with America, they're looking at America like, you guys are nothing but a piece of shit, because America is doing shady deals behind their backs, and trying to overthrow their government. You see, that cancer, which is those Israelis, has spread all the way throughout America. And all these politicians, each and every one of them, down to your fucking senator, down to your congressman, all of them, they're all corrupt. They're all taking bribes, from Israel. When you look at the race that's going on right now for mayor, you ask them the question, what was the first thing you would do if you get into office? And all of them except one, said they will go to Israel. Go to Israel, go to Israel, go to Israel. Why? Because they're being paid off by Israel. So show you, man, these gutter rats, as the scriptures say, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. And since I mentioned that, I want to get this scripture real quick. I could start from the top, actually. This is Psalms, the 5th chapter, and the first verse. It says that to the chief musician upon Nehiath, excuse me, a psalm of David. Give ear unto my words, O Yahweh, consider my meditation. Hearken unto the voice of my cry, my King and my power. For unto thee will I pray. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning, O Lord Yahweh. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee, and will look up. For thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. It says, the foolish shall not stand in thy sight. And Esau is a very foolish man. You know, to be in the Lord's holy land, pretending to be his people, you got to be a fucking real jackass. You know, you got to be a real fucking jackass to think that you could fool Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You could fool these people because, you know, all the nations are stupid. You know, these people are out here are really stupid, so you could fool them, but you ain't fooling Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It says, the foolish shall not stand in thy sight. It says, thou hatest all workers of iniquity. And who does more iniquity than Esau? And iniquity goes into wickedness. It says, thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing, falsehood, and nobody else speak. And that's what Scott Ritter was going into. All the lies that they told, you know, Iran had weapons of mass destruction. Man, it's been well over 20 years and they still ain't find them shits. You know, I mean, Iraq has weapons of mass destruction, you know, and they still ain't find them shits yet. And they use that lie to justify them going up in that office, which was nothing but a fucking regime change. And it was all orchestrated by Israel, man. You know, because they want to get rid of all the threats over there. And Iran is one of their biggest threats. That's why they don't want Iran having nuclear capability or nothing. So it says, thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. And also Iran was backing up Iraq when America invaded. It says, thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. The Lord will arbor the bloody and deceitful man. Who is the bloody and deceitful man? The so-called white man, Esau Edom. This guy Netanyahu, man, he's a warmonger. You know, and as Israel is getting bombarded with missiles, what is that rat doing? He's fleeing away. He flew away. He flew away, man. So even his own people, you know, he's being wicked too, man. This guy's a true devil. This guy is a true fucking devil. Let me see if I can find that shit real quick, man. Let's see if I can find that. Israeli PR. Let me see, please. Let me see if I can find that shit real quick, man. Wait me 1 second. I don't want to veer off the topic. But anyway, whatever. But the guy flew away, man. So let's get back to the scriptures. It says, "But as for me, I will come into my house, into thy house, in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship towards thy holy temple." And right now, the holy temple is a spiritual temple. And for us, it says, "But as for me, I will come into thy house," and this is the house of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai. You know, it starts with the hopeful elect. You know, calling on the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship towards thy holy temple. Lead me, O Lord Yahweh, in thy righteousness. And this is what we're doing, man. This is our salvation. This is how we're going to be saved. By calling on the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. This is how we're going to be. What are you guys going to do? We're calling on the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And we're having faith in him, man. It said, "Lead me, O Lord, in thy righteousness because of my enemies." It says, "Make thy way straight before my face." It says, it's like it, "Lead me, O Lord, Yahweh, in thy righteousness because of my enemies," the so-called white man. You know, great persecution is coming up on us, man. You know, with this whole AI thing, we're going to be framed for a lot of shit, man. For the things because, you know, they made it a law. I believe they started in Texas. I don't know if it trickled down to the other states yet, that, you know, speaking against Israel is anti-Semitic. Like, first of all, man, the word is Shemitic, and they're not the only Shemites in this world, man. That's another fucking deception that they've casted upon the world, man. The deceitful man. So they're gonna persecute us, man. So only the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, which the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai will justify us, man. It says, "Make thy way straight before my face." It says, "For there is no faithfulness in their mouth." Here it is. "Their inward part is very wicked. Their throat is an open sepulcher. They flatter with their tongue." And that's what these so-called white people do, man. They lie, continue to lie. And when they lie some more. That's how they take over and occupy other nations. That's how they occupy and take over other nations, man. It's like, yeah, it's out of my eye. It says, "Destroy them, O Lord, O Lord, O power. Let them fall by their own counsel. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions, for they have rebelled against thee." Right. And this is also going into Israel too. But this fits Esau as well. So it says, "Destroy them, O Lord, let them fall by their own counsel. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgression, for they have rebelled against thee." Right. So their own wicked counsel is telling them, all right, let's go up there and bomb the hell out of Iran to hell and back. You know, and it's gonna backfire on them because Iran has a great equalizer, which is Russia. And Russia, the Russian military is superior to the American military. You know, the Russian missile capability is superior to the American missile capability. They're not by far, but it's better. It says, let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. That's the elect. That's us. Lord willing, we're hopeful elect. Let them ever shout for joy, because, and that's what we're doing, man, because thou defendest them. Right. And like I said earlier, the Lord is going to justify us. And we're also screaming for joy because of all these prophecies coming to pass. This is a major prophecy that's happening right now before our face. You know, so we know that we're almost out of here, man. You know, but as the scriptures say, through much tribulation, it's not going to be an easy road from here on out. The closer you get, the harder it's going to be. So your faith is going to be tested heavily in these days and in these times, because you're going to be persecuted heavily. It says, because thou defendest them, let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For thou, Lord Yahweh, will bless the righteous with favor. For thou, Yahweh, will bless the righteous with favor. Wilt thou compass him? Wilt thou compass him as with a shield? Excuse me. So the Lord is going to be our shield, man, and He's going to be our sword as well to fight for us. So let me play a little bit more of this video, and I'm gonna end it.
We got here because we've made ourselves incompatible to the existence of the Iranian government, and we've embraced without hesitation Israeli policy. So, you know, there's no logic behind what we're doing here. This is basically just, one bad policy stacked upon another that's been shared by administrations, Republican and Democrat alike. And until we learn how to think of Iran as a nation that we...
The two horns speaking as a lamb.
Can peacefully coexist with, and we're not threatened by the fact that it's governed by a Shia theocracy. We will always be susceptible, and until we can distance ourselves from Israel and allowing Israel to dominate our national security priorities in the region, this kind of conflict is inevitable.
Now, I want to ask you about the burden of proof, because we have had our Archduke Ferdinand moment already. Israel said they had the weapons. We knew it. The IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Association, said, yeah, they're not in compliance. That's the rule. That's what and that was based on...
And one should ask, how come Israel can have nuclear weapons, but Iran can't? You see these devils, man, that's how they roll, man. They want to be the big bully on the block. But when that other tough kid, steps up and start beating their ass, they get scared. Hey, man, so just keep watching. You brothers can finish watching the rest of this. This is from Redacted. It's a 15-minute video, good information. And once again, fair use. I'm not making any money off of this. This is strictly for educational purposes only. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, honors, and salutations to the old elect. Shalom.